What if I told you that your brand new SSD, the one hitting 5,000 megabytes per second in benchmarks, was actually designed to slow down? Not because it breaks, but because that's exactly how it was engineered to work. Every single component, every decision made in the factory, every line of firmware code, all leading to this inevitable performance drop. Today, we're going inside the manufacturing process to discover a truth that's hiding in plain sight. Every SSD begins as a silicon wafer, where engineers etch billions of memory cells using light and chemicals. But here's the first key insight. Not all memory cells are created equally. Engineers can make three types of memory cells. SLC cells store 1 bit each, super fast but very expensive. TLC cells store 3 bits each, a good balance of speed and cost. And QLC cells store 4 bits each, high capacity but slower. Think of it like parking. SLC is valet parking, fast and expensive. TLC is regular parking, balanced. QLC is the economy lot, cheap but you walk further to get there. Most SSDs use TLC memory with a small SLC section for speed, and this combination is where our story really begins. The memory stores your data, but the controller manages everything, and it's more sophisticated than you might think. The controller handles several jobs that directly affect your experience. Wear leveling spreads writes evenly so no memory cell wears out too fast. Garbage collection cleans up deleted files in the background, like a digital janitor working while you're not looking. And here's something interesting: write amplification. Sometimes when you save 1 gigabyte of data, the SSD actually has to write 2 or 3 gigabytes internally for housekeeping. It's like having to move boxes around in a storage unit just to fit one more item. Different controllers have different capabilities. Some are designed for budget drives, others for premium performance. Same memory chips, different brains managing them. Here's where the manufacturing process directly creates that slowdown you experience. It's called pseudo-SLC cache, and is both clever engineering and intentional limitation. Manufacturers take some of that TLC memory and make it act like SLC, but only temporarily. When you're saving files, the first 20 to 50 gigabytes goes to this fast SLC cache at full speed. But once that cache fills up, everything goes to regular TLC speed, often 3 to 4 times slower. This isn't a flaw, it's a design choice. Engineers balance cost, capacity, and performance. The cache gives you bursts of speed when you need it most, but sustained performance shows the true capability of the underlying memory. So, when your SSD feels slower after a few months, you're not imagining it. You've simply filled the express lane, and now you're experiencing the drive's real personality. Heat management is built into every SSD from day one, and it directly affects your performance in ways you might not expect. Most SSDs begin thermal throttling around 70 degrees Celsius. The controller automatically reduces performance to prevent damage. This happens because writing data generates heat. Faster writing generates more heat, and sustained writing can quickly push an SSD to its thermal limits. During production, engineers choose thermal solutions based on target price points. Premium drives get better heat spreaders and thermal pads. Budget drives get basic solutions. Same performance capability, different thermal headroom. So when your laptop gets warm during a large file transfer and everything slows down, that's not poor design, that's protective engineering working exactly as intended. This is where manufacturing meets marketing. The same silicon from the same factory line becomes multiple product tiers at very different price points. Manufacturers create these product tiers through several methods: different cache allocation. Premium drives might get 50 gigabytes of SLC cache, while budget versions get only 12. Over-provisioning, that's extra hidden storage for performance optimization, more on expensive models, less on budget ones. DRAM presence makes a difference too. Some drives include a DRAM buffer for faster access, others don't. And firmware tuning, the same controller running different performance profiles based on which product line it's destined for. This isn't deception, it's market segmentation. A luxury car and economy car might share an engine platform, but get different tunings and features. SSDs work similarly. The hardware capability often exists. Firmware determines how much of it you can access. You might notice drives with identical model numbers but different suffixes, often indicating different firmware configurations of essentially the same hardware. Before shipping, every SSD goes through rigorous testing. But understanding what gets tested and what doesn't explains why real-world performance can surprise you. Factory tests typically measure peak performance with an empty cache, basic functionality to ensure it reads and writes correctly, and thermal limits to confirm it throttles safely when hot. What's typically not tested? Long-term performance degradation, real-world mixed workloads, or sustained performance beyond cache limits. This isn't inadequate testing, it's practical manufacturing. Testing every possible usage scenario would make drives unaffordably expensive. Instead, manufacturers test core functionality and rely on specifications to communicate the limitations. So when you unbox that SSD and run your first benchmark, you're seeing it perform under the exact conditions it was optimized and tested for. What happens after that? Well, that's where the real engineering reveals itself. So now you know. The slowdown isn't a side effect, it's the main design. Every SSD is essentially two different drives, the fast one you benchmark with and the real one you live with. But here's what's really interesting. The same principle, peak performance versus sustained reality, it's everywhere. Your smartphone's processor? It's designed to throttle after 30 seconds of peak performance. Your car's turbo engine? That peak horsepower exists for maybe 10 seconds at a time. Your laptop? That thin, beautiful design guarantees thermal limits. We live in a world where almost nothing performs at its theoretical maximum for very long. The question isn't whether your SSD was designed to slow down. The question is, what else in your life is running on borrowed speed?